Well, let's get this started right away. Dixon, you have the first pick in the draft. Who are you leaning?
Don't influence my business.
Are we making our own picks?
Well, you're making your own pick. So if you're not, make sure you're on the SkipAce website.
Should I be like reasoning behind my pick, or just pick and talk trash?
I mean, you can pick and talk trash because I put a post out there today asking who was the number one pick, and there was a lot of decision between Ricky and Paul. Well, I guess first let's do this. Let's introduce everybody because this is the first time we've done this. This is the SkipAce, the first annual, I'll call it the media mock draft. I invited 5 of the smartest disc golf minds.
This guy.
But there's 6 of them. So.
Well, I invited 5 and 1 showed up. Anyway. So Dixon,
we'll let you choose who's who.
Exactly, we'll let you choose. Directly to my, I guess I could be this way. My left, everybody else's right probably, is Dixon Jowers. Many of you know Dixon from the On the Box podcast. There you go. He's got his own merch. Congratulations! I got merch too. I don't know.
It's one of one in the whole world. This is the only piece of merch I have.
And directly to the right of Dixon is Nasser and Jad. And guys, why don't you quick introduce yourselves? Because you're probably no offense, you're the least known maybe here.
Go for it, Nas.
Oh, we can't hear you.
His mic might be off. I got us then.
All right.
So yeah, me and Nas are a part of the podcast Hitting the Line. It's essentially a fantasy disc golf podcast. We're centered around the app that people may or may not use. We just hit them up one time. We're like, hey, we want to start a podcast. We're going to use betting lines as a platform to talk about disc golf in general. So that's what we did all last season. And yeah, we figured we text about disc golf all day, talk about it all day. Why not talk about it while we're recording?
That's how good podcasts start usually. Directly to their...
Well, I'm going to jump in. An A+ name there. Hitting the lines?
I like it.
You like that? Hitting the line.
That's
like
hot.
That double entendre.
That's hot. I'm a fan.
Today we had a meeting with the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They're looking for names for their new podcast, their video thing that they're going to be releasing, and none of them were as good as Hitting the Line. So directly,
Johnny, can I ask you how you found us?
Shocked.
I'm sorry.
I'm shocked they didn't go with SmashBoxxTV.
I know.
The most obvious name out there.
They were looking for an original cool name.
Yeah.
I found Hitting the Line it was probably a few months ago. I'd first seen it. It was something on Twitter. Maybe it was someone. I think it was Nas's. Maybe a retweet or a like of something, and I kind of just fell into a rabbit hole.
Right.
And I found it. I was like, oh, I had no clue this was even out there. And you guys had started last year around Worlds, I believe. So you had about, we'll say, half a season that I'm not going to go back and listen to at this point. But I am going to listen
Don't
to
do it.
From
you know, all podcasts don't start off great. So
what was the line? If that was your first episode at Worlds, what was the line on James going in?
Yeah.
We actually talked James up. We hyped him up. We said if anybody's going to do great in the woods, it's going to be James Conrad. So we actually hyped him up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To Nas and Jad's right, we've got Evan from StatMando. Hi, Evan. Go ahead and tell everybody about StatMando real quick.
Yeah, we're a disc golf statistics platform, trying to build the game up, trying to get, I guess, data however we can, do some analytics off that, come up with new things. You can check out StatMando.com. Our kind of main module is the head-to-head. So take any of the players we have on there and see how well they do against each other, who beats who. And you can do a specific date range and whatnot. We also kind of have our own version of player pages where you can kind of do kind of advanced sorting and filtering on event results. Really cool stuff. And we're also trying to do a lot of behind the scenes kind of storylines for the Pro Tour and just a lot of cool queries and just trying to make everything as automated as possible on our side.
Yeah, Dixon, remember when we had to come up with our own information for the live broadcasts? Now StatMando just gives us a packet,
that's
so
awesome.
that with a whole bunch of information behind the scenes. So,
well, that's not cool. Because,
we're cheating now
because I was the only one that would do it, and so I looked like the smartest guy around because nobody else was doing their own stats.
Well, StatMando has been doing a lot of stuff. So a lot of what you're going to see this upcoming season in the Disc Golf Pro Tour is going to be StatMando related. And I know we're talking behind the scenes about doing some comparison stuff for maybe some of our free agency for SkipAce. So stay tuned for that.
Cool.
To Evan's right, we've got Robert McCall. Robert, you are on the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast. Is that correct?
That's what that's my main interaction with disc golf right now is talking with those guys and hanging out.
When was the last time you threw a disc?
Oh gosh, some friends came and visited in October, and I played with.
I got a sweet birdie with that blue getaway you gave me the other day.
Nice, awesome.
I'm glad.
Yeah, the new job and pickleball have taken most of my life that my son doesn't take right now. But we're chilling. I still buy discs like I'm playing disc golf, so that's got to be worth something.
Yeah, pickleball's taking up everybody's thing. We had a whole on the Smashbox podcast last Tuesday. Madison went off for like 6 hours on pickleball.
Oh yeah,
and she's going to tournaments and this and that. So
yeah, which is shocking because she's not very good. But you know,
yeah, she's only a 3, right?
Yeah, she's only a 3.0.
That's a pickleball rating.
Robert, what are you? Are you a 3.5, 4?
I play 4.0. Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh, look at me. No,
step off.
Not
I
a joke.
I played early tonight to come to this draft. Like I said,
nice.
No guys, I gotta go. So
I played with some 4.5s and 5.0s on Saturday, and they worked me. Absolutely correct. Like as soon as you think it'd be like a 950 player that's like, I can hang with the big dogs, and he goes and plays with a 10-20 guy, and he's like, oh no, I can't. That's how I felt. So
speaking of 10-20 guys. Not as disc golf rating, but just a guy in general. We've got to Robert's right, Darren LeMay. Those of you that may know Darren from some of the articles he's written on Ultiworld, I believe. Darren, are you still doing writing and such, or what are you filling your time with these days?
All these kids, and then on top of that, soccer. Just watching youth soccer, driving there, parking, watching, driving home. 2.5 hours back the next morning. Just did that for like 3 weekends. Got it coming up this weekend again.
Which is really creepy because your kids are in hockey. So who knew?
Yeah. So I'm just going there. I'm just scouting, but I'm going there and I'm like, I'll get a bunch of writing done. Like I have nothing else to do. I haven't touched the keyboard ever while I'm there. Every time I'm just going to write. I'm not going to watch the kids. I'm not going to be coaching from the sideline. The last thing I'm doing, I'm just coaching from the sideline the whole time. But yeah, I'm still writing. Got some stuff coming out this week. All season preview stuff and all that. A lot of fun.
Awesome. All right, so we have decided the draft order. Dixon actually did a little random picking, and the draft order is going to go Dixon, Robert, myself, Evan, Nasser, and Jad, and then Darren. So Darren is going to get – this is a snake draft, so Darren and Dixon will both get back-to-back picks. Let's quickly –
Hey, Johnny, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you sound great,
cool.
man.
I had to leave and come on back. I'm not sure what happened.
Yep. If
Dude,
anything,
shocker that Dixon did the random picking and he
I
ends
know.
up with number 1.
I like that Johnny just said I get back-to-back picks. So let's go with Rick and Paul.
So, who is the number 1 pick, Dixon? You have the first mock draft what do they call it, 1.01 pick. Is it Ricky who's going to play a lot? Is it Paul? He's going to miss 3 events. Eagle's going to miss 5 Pro Tour events because the season is Pro Tour and Elite Series. Calvin, who is going to supposedly hit them all. I don't know. Where do you stand for your number 1 pick and why?
I'm not trying to outthink the room here. It's the number 1 player in the world, the number 1 player on Pro Tour, and the best putter in the world who's now back to using his favorite putter. So it's got to be Rick. I think he has unless something happens, I think he's got to be the favorite going into Worlds this year.
All right,
So,
let me put him on the board.
Paul's not a bad pick. It says tree encountered.
Refresh the page.
Yeah. Try again. Draft now. Tree encountered. Let's try again. What kind of shenanigans is this?
Well, nobody wanted you to have the first pick, so
Idiot.
Let's try again.
Hold on 1 second.
Tree encountered. The given data was invalid.
Hold on 1
All
second.
right, I'll just start.
Paul's not a bad pick, obviously. you'll do just fine with Paul all year long. So, Robert, I'm sure is going to be taking Paul. And if Paul ends up doing better on the year, it's not like I'll be like,
If
what a
they're
shock.
if they're all playing equal events, who are you taking? Because I have a little my theory for the last couple of years has been that Ricky's not the best putter in the world, and Eagle actually is. But I could argue that out if you want.
I mean, you
argue
can,
that.
Well,
Eagles
StatMando, who's the best putter in the world?
Ooh, I mean, that's a great question. I don't think you can look at just Circle 1X or strokes gain putting. I think you got to do a little bit more than that. But I'll be honest, for this, we don't care about putting, right? We just care about where they
Yeah,
finish,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
I just threw that.
Dixon,
Yeah,
can you try
so-
to refresh and pick now?
when Rick left Latitude, his C1 putting percentage has always been about the same, within a couple of points from each other. But when he left, what year was that? After 2018, his C2 putting percentage dropped by 10 points. And then over the last 3 years, he's gotten a little better, a little better, a little better. And I think last year he was
agree with
1 or
that.
2 points below what he was in 2018. So he figured out how to do as good with his AVR. But now that he's back with the dagger, I think that's only going to go up and up. All right, he's on the board now.
And
All
I'll
right.
say
Or he's
this: Ricky has
in
11
my
had 11 podiums last year in Elite Series and Majors. No one else was double digits. Eagle was next with 9. And if you're doing like top 5 percentage, he was at 72%. Next highest was Paul at 61%. I think he's got a little bit of an edge, at least based on last year.
Yep.
Well, and I think for Ricky's always been a momentum player. I mean, you can go back to his interviews in 2016, even before that. He was always talking about that. And so now him being comfortable and having this kind of fresh wind in his sails, I mean, I would have picked Rick even if he wasn't wearing DD. Like, I mean, I still always cheer for Rick. And I think when he has everything going for him, he's incredible. If we were going to talk about the most clutch guy ever, then it's Paul with no question. But this is a bigger question than that.
All right, real quick, just so everybody knows, if you're looking at the draft room or you're watching this, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, we've got a set of favorites. Each of their players can select their favorites in whatever order they want. Everyone can see that my favorites in order. You've got your team right below that. You can hit switch to view other people's teams. The recent moves, so you can kind of see who's picked what in what order. And my manager tool, so if you're a manager, you have this. And so I can remove a league member. So anyone that gets on my nerves, like Dixon, I can boot him. So
Later.
Hey,
all right, our second
hey.
pick goes to Robert McCall. Robert, number 2.
Yeah,
tough
this won't be
Man of the
surprising.
league.
I'm gonna pick Paul. If Ricky was here at 2, I would pick him. But I think it's a little closer, but for me between Paul and Eagle than I would have expected. The thing that sets Paul ahead is the number of events that he'll probably play, because last year he played 24. Rick played 24, Eagle played 18, and Eagle's already planning on skipping some Pro Tour and Elite events. And so if you're just talking about that as our rubric, I'm going with Paul. And I mean, he is 1A or 1B best player in the world. You could argue 1C, but all these guys are pretty incredible. So I'm taking Paul Macbeth.
1C.
1C.
1C, says Dixon.
And as everyone can see in my favorite,
5X 1C.
they're crossed off there, and you can remove them from
Hey,
your favorites.
listen. Eagle has the physical tools to be the absolute best player in the world.
100%.
Whether it's going to happen this year or not is what's in question.
I don't disagree with
I've
that.
always
but
agreed
We've been
Eagle's the
saying
most
that
talented
same
player in
thing
the world.
since 2017.
The only thing that worries me about Eagle,
You're not wrong.
is his injuries. I mean, we see the same thing. He's a little bit injury prone, whether it's by his own account. Well, it's almost always on his own fault. whether he's trying to throw 360s the wrong way or punching things.
Punching the ground.
He's had a history of damage. So I believe I am the third pick right now. I'm looking at
That
the board.
said, you're taking Eagle McMahon.
Actually,
Right.
Are you taking Vinny?
I'm gonna go Vinny. He's next on my board. I'm picking Vinny because
That's a good
he hasn't last year. He had a few issues he didn't finish as high up as he would have liked to, I think. But this is a return year. I think he'll be more comfortable, and he's going to hit most of the tour stops, which I think is going to be important up at the top.
Yep. So, I'm a Vinny fan. He's great.
I was kind of hoping we'd go chalky so Vinny would fall to us.
Sorry. All right. So next on the board is Evan. Evan, StatMando. Do you have like two guys up on your list? Are you using StatMando back and forth to figure out who you want to pick?
You know what? I did. And as soon as I saw his fourth pick, I'm like, Calvin or Chris Dickerson. And I was trying to figure out who. And you solved that for me because I think it's an easy decision. It's Calvin. Or not. Oh, my goodness. It's Eagle McMahon at this point. There's no way I am not drafting him at number 4.
You got it.
I think he will be the best player in 2022, regardless of how many events he plays.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. That's a bold statement.
Well,
it is bold, and I will stand by it.
If I was picking 4, I would have taken Dickerson.
Over Eagle?
You would have been wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
This is
oh,
great.
My gosh.
Wow. This is some hot takes.
Yeah,
all right.
Interesting.
Next on the board, we've got Hitting the Line, Nasser and Jad.
All right, Jed.
With all that being said, I think me and you are probably going to be on the same page here. It might be a hot take given what everybody else just said. Nas, if I had to pick, I think we're taking Kyle Klein, the second Crush Bro. What about you?
Ooh, you know what? If I were you, I wouldn't have even said that and hoped to get him in our next pick.
Okay.
Because
he's on
I believe
top.
Darren goes after us, and then we pick again. So I guess we kind of have to take him now, don't we?
My thought leaning towards upside. I'm not as in with the no as everybody else on how many events people are going to be playing. I know Dickerson has a history of not playing all the events, so I couldn't tell you how many he's playing off the top of my head.
He's still skipping, I think, 2 or 3 events. I think 2 Pro Tour events. And because he's not hitting the East Coast.
And Kyle posted this week that he was going to have a full schedule. So I say we might as well go with Kyle Klein. I think he's the second Crush Bro. And I think he's equally up there with the most talented player in the world. So
yeah, on our show last year, Kyle Klein made us a lot of money choosing a lot of Kyle Klein unders. And we hyped him up the entire year talking about how he was he's that dude. And we really think he is that dude. So I'm going to go ahead, Jad, and we are going to draft Kyle Klein.
I hope. I'm hoping next year that we're going to get build an option for keepers, because I think if you're playing a keeper league, Kyle Klein's probably your number one keeper.
Me and Nas were discussing a keeper before this that we're hoping for.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We got lots of improvements coming up. All right, so now we're on the end of the first round. Darren LeMay is going to have back-to-back
That's my favorite thing about Eagle is every time everyone's like, oh well, for the young guys like Klein's my favorite. And this guy's like, and Eagle's only like 3 years older than all of them, so it's like he's still the number one keeper, number one player, and best putter, and best sidearm, and best distance, and best everything else.
You said 0 lies.
But I won't be taking Eagle, obviously. Awesome 6th pick. Can you still see me when I'm switched over to this or no?
Yeah, we still see you.
We can see
you're good. You're good.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can still see you, yes.
What am I doing here? I should have been paying attention to this. I mean, you kind of have to take Dickerson in this spot, right? Like,
I don't know. We watched Hamas throwing a 330-foot shot this weekend. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't.
Well, yeah, I got those 2 lined up here for I'm pretty sure I'm going back to back. Man, remember when Kevin Jones was awesome?
Yeah. Matty O. Wow. Shots fired. Matty O, first big year touring. You don't think he's going to
Well, no, remember like a couple, like not that long ago, it was like Kevin Jones, like he was like like cracking that top 5. And it's like now.
Yeah, he was in the top 5 discussion.
Yeah, he would have been in that top tier. And now I think he's kind of sitting second tier. But
yeah, it's weird. It's just like I remember it was him versus Calvin. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just to make it look like I got a better deal, I'll take Hamas here at 6, and I go Dickerson 7. So like, wow, Dickerson 2nd round.
Yeah, everyone's be like, "What? That's a steal!" Oh my gosh. There is an option as well on SkipAce. If right below the list of players, there's a little toggle sound that you can actually turn on a little ding when it's your turn if you're interested. No, I can't do that. Unfortunately, they'll sue me probably.
What the heck?
I know.
There it is.
Instead, it's the Jomez theme. Don't worry, they won't sue me.
Is it the good Jomez? Bad Jomez?
The star frame? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Unique syntax is available if anybody needs it.
There we go.
I'm not going to say.
That's the one I want to make popular again.
All right,
Okay.
Darren. So you went with Adam Hammis in the 6th round or in the 1st round, and then the start of the 2nd round. Did you make? There it goes. Perfect. You made
Yep.
your.
Yep.
You
All right,
made your
so
pick. We're back to hitting the line.
Jed and I are back on the clock here. Jed, I'm looking at the world
fine.
rankings. Well, there's Matty O, there's Drew Gibson, Kevin Jones. We talked about people with upside, and he's someone who's fallen in terms of maybe public view, but he still has that in any weekend kind of ability. What are you thinking?
I think as much as it feels weak, an older player, I think Matty O really surprised us last year that he still got it. He was consistently finishing near the top. I don't think you're going to get a lot of terrible tournaments out of him. I would lean towards Matty O, or we could go upside with Drew Gibson. I generally lean towards upside. That's why it's tricky. So
I know, and Drew played really well last year. He seems to gain a bunch of confidence in the off season with his new sponsors, and he's got new discs coming out. And sometimes that like new good hype stuff really can, I think, maybe play into players playing well. Jed,
Or is he
you've
going to be
always been the
distracted?
fantasy brain.
Is he going to be? Is he going to be a distracted?
Or is he going to be
player?
distracted? Yeah.
Drew walked
Jed, you
off
said
the
you wanna
course this
lean
weekend.
Well, generally I lean towards upside, but I would just love to root for Matty O every weekend. So I think we should just go Matty O just because.
All right, let's root for Matty O right now. We're going to go ahead and draft Matty O.
Good
All right,
choice. He was the
Tide.
top of my
Roll
board right
Tide.
now. Roll Tide. That's
Roll
right.
Tide.
Saban would be proud.
Is
From
Emac-
two
Emac-
boys from Ohio, we'll say it.
Is that real?
What was that, Darren?
Emacs rating's 1034 right now.
That's what it is.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of tournaments on his rating right now.
I mean,
I mean,
whatever it
I
takes.
would imagine it's the Daryl Nodland effect from a few
Yes.
years ago. That
Well,
he
and
only
Dar-
has a couple of local events, and he did really good at them.
Yeah, Darren
he can
plays like
shred,
2
yeah.
events a year, and EMAC can still shred and all that stuff. So yeah, there are some players on here that obviously you're probably not going to be drafting very frequently, like your Darren Nolland, your Brian Vaggy.
And I will say too, though, for our picks, I feel like Kyle Klein gives us huge upside and a chance, and then like Matty O gives us like he's going to be top 10 most weeks. We hope.
You should be wearing sunglasses for every single round now. So Evan, you're next on the board.
All right. I feel like this might be getting into the point where it's just like anything goes. You kind of just into that giant mess of really good players, but not total superstars. I don't know. I don't want to undersell anyone. But I will pick the player who actually had a better average round rating last season from Elite Series events than Kyle Klein did. Of course, you're trying to guess upside, so I'm not trying to say it's a better pick, but I'm going to go Kevin Jones.
Yeah, Kevin was in the mix a lot last year, but just couldn't quite close the deal. Had some really heartbreaking shots.
Pretty much won Portland Open.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Well, not to the last one drops. Oh, it's my pick now. So we've got who's on the board left right now. I'm looking at like a Drew Gibson, Nicola Castro. I mean, those are really kind of the two guys. I think those are the last guys. And James Conrad. I think those are the last guys in like my second tier of touring players that I've kind of been thinking about. And like I said, you could go with Drew
What
Gibson.
about Simon?
No, I mean Simon has that ability.
Last year, no. Last
He's
year,
got
no. But I'm wondering, like,
high upside. He's having a kid this year. You don't know how that's going to affect him. I don't know how much he's going to tour.
Often he'll be playing.
He could go, 2 weeks. And
ask
just be
Robert.
Like, I'm
Robert,
gonna,
you have a kid,
He
you
is
play
the
more.
third
You
crush.
He is.
Right.
Yes.
play more.
Robert was never an elite disc golfer when he had a kid, though.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
go with James. I'm going to go with James Conrad. I think Conrad's the pick. He's going to finish. He didn't finish very well in most events last year. He kind of was really middle tier, except for Worlds, really. But he had, and it was.
I was going to ask.
and
He kind of disappointed me and Dad last year a lot.
He did, and I think this year he's going to be. I think he's a little more comfortable now, as far as financially, I guess, and I think it'll suit him. He's a relaxed kind of guy. So coming back,
if he didn't have the greatest shot in the history of disc golf, it would have been an utterly forgettable year for him.
it would have been. You're right, 100%. 100%. I think again, if you're looking at keepers, he is low on that list, but I got a good feeling about the bendy man. So Mr. McCall. We're getting
I
to
like
that
it when
point
people
where
I'm in fantasy drafts with go on their good feelings.
I know. Hey,
This is a pretty easy pick for me, to be honest. And it's no offense to the people below this person on the list or the people above him, but it's Drew Gibson. Drew's up there at the
Easy.
top. He's incredible thrower. His putting has been what's held him back, in my opinion, for the longest time. And he is putting like a madman right now. So, yep, Drew's joining my team.
awesome. Good. I think that's a good pick. Dixon, you've got back-to-back picks now. You haven't picked.
Damn it, Robert.
You have.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was falling to me.
No.
When Nas and Jad started talking about Drew, I was like, shut up, guys. Shut up.
Oh,
Nobody's gonna
like-
pick Drew.
Hey, Dixon, I can read the board for myself. I saw where he was.
Who does that leave
Go
you
right
with?
ahead. Enjoy your picks.
Yeah.
I think.
All right, I'm gonna go young for both of these, for being on tour as well as upside. I'll go with Gavin for my first pick here. Where is he at?
Oh, you might have to do a search for him.
This is based off of how he finished last year. What's his rating? Geez, where's he at?
1026 at the top. If you type in the search bar,
there we
it'll
go.
actually
All right,
clear.
If only someone had implemented a tool where you could search a player's name.
Hey, shut your face. And then I'm hoping that he did some work on this in the off season.
I'm guessing he didn't.
Because I do like to be able to cheer for the guys that I'm picking. So I'm going to go with my next pick with Gannon. I hope he did some work on his putting routine. Oh, there we go. I like it when people are upset at my pick.
You're not wanting on Gavin.
I just
I
texted
think,
Jed. I was like, you know who our next pick is?
It's coming through. Nope. I love
I mean,
it. Stealing picks.
No!
I followed Gannon.
He likes to
Isaiah Esquivel was a local youngster here that won Junior Worlds, and he was competing against Gannon for basically those 3 years. So I saw Gannon up close a lot when he was like 14 or something. And I mean, you could tell that he had it. And he went through all the stuff last year, but I liked the way that he and his mom responded to all of the noise that came about with his time violations there at the DGPT Championship. So I'm hoping that he put some work into that and is just he's ready to go on season this year.
Everybody
Magic-
viewing.
You gotta say anything else.
Yeah, everybody viewing the broadcast hope he put a little work into that as well. So
Imagine he comes out and he's just worse. He's just like, I'm going the other way. I'm just going to go the other way. And just one
Why
more
would
time.
you say such things? Go ahead and wish for him and Nico and Philo to be on a card together so we can have 12-hour rounds.
Ooh, that's rough. All right, Robert.
If I knew that Sexton was going to tour full time, then that's an easy pick for me. I don't think that he's going to. So I'm going to keep it moving. Oh man. I'll tell you the guys I'm in between right now. And I think I just made up my mind just thinking about it, but I'm in between Presnell and Joel Freeman. And I think I'm going to go Joel Freeman because he had higher finishes last year.
Those are two different people?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He had higher finishes last year at the Elite Series events. Presnell is a grinder, and I like him personally. He's an incredible player. He just didn't finish great at Elite Series events all year. He did a little bit, but I think if we're looking at consistency on Elite Series, I'm going to pick Joel Freeman.
It's a good pick. Good pick. He finished off real strong last year. He's the past few years he's been really close to the Tour Championship with like 2 events to go, and then played very well to get into the Tour Championship. So I believe that was Presnell. So.
Unorthodox style, but like he gets the disc in the basket, man. It's impressive.
Great fashion sense.
Yeah. Air quotes
really-
around great.
I think we define that word differently.
You can't miss
You
him on
keep
the
using
course.
that word.
You can't miss him. All right, I'm up on the board. You're right. There's a lot of players right now up at the top of the board that have high ratings that maybe aren't going to tour as much. You've got like a Kale, Scott Withers, Linus Carlson, Nate Sexton,
Brian Vaggi.
Yeah, exactly, Brian Vaggi. I'm gonna go though. I'm gonna step down a little bit. And speaking of somebody who can work on a little bit of their speed, I'm gonna go with Nico LaCastro. I think he's going to have something to prove. Obviously, now he's sponsor less until we hear maybe Gateway, is my understanding, but nobody knows for sure. And he doesn't necessarily hit every event, but he's passionate. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
It looked like on your screen there, it looked like you were making a value judgment because everybody around him, it said favorite, favorite, favorite. And then on Nico, it said unfavorite because you had selected him for your favorite list. But it looked like you were just saying, this guy is my unfavorite.
This is my unfavorite.
Let's not get into that. Anyway, I love me some Nico. All right, so now we're over to Evan from StatMando. Who are you thinking now for your next pick?
I just got
round 3 out of like 8.
I got 2 kicked to the guts because I was like, oh, Freeman, I'm going to steal him and no one's going to get him. Then I'm like, all right, okay, well, I'll go with Nico. Like, he's better than people think. And then, boom, right back to back. And now I'm feeling like I'm scrambling. I at this moment, have no clue what I'm going to do, but I'll find it out in the next 10 seconds.
Well, we see, I think Mason Ford's a solid pick. He's going on tour, new sponsor.
That was one of the guys I was
Simon
thinking
is still
about.
there. Third round.
And
Simon,
you guys
Fresnel.
are saying exactly what I'm thinking. I was just trying to see Simon.
Double
I think
G
is the best
sitting out
player
there?
left. Simon and Sexton are in the same boat where it's like you don't know
Jackie
if they're gonna tour,
Chen?
but they're both very good. Ooh, that would be fun, I'd be about that. Mason Ford scares me. Besides his win, he was only 5 out of 12 top 20s from 12 events. Only finished top 25 times, being that. I'm gonna reach and I'm gonna go Simon if I can just grab him.
Yeah, as everyone says, huge upside with Simon.
Yeah.
But also some downside and some.
I'll have to
unknowns.
scrap by for the first couple of events and squeeze in that last bench spot.
Yep.
Probably takes me out of the running of Sexton, sadly.
I'll provide a hot take for Simon. I think Simon's putt visually is the best looking putt in disc golf.
I'll give you that.
I'm not saying he's the best putter in disc golf. I'm saying when he's standing over a putt, it looks the best. Say it again.
He just makes it look so easy. Like he doesn't even open his hand and it just 45 feet in the chains.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. Hitting the line, boys, up next.
Yep. Nas and Jad. Let's see what do
All
you
right.
got? Who's gonna make you some cash?
All right,
this
Jed,
year?
you wanna explain maybe our thinking here, and I'll go ahead and I'll make the pick.
Yeah. Nobody mentioned his name. UDisc has him ranked as the 11th best player in the world. I'm seeing a 5th place, a 7th, a 4th, a 2nd, a 4th, a 9th last year, and that's Andrew Marweed. I think forehand can go a long way when it comes to upside, and we've all seen his forehand. So we're going to go with Andrew Marweed.
Marweed's a good pick. It's a little.
And then I also want to say,
go ahead.
I am a DGA shill. So the fact that he is with them now is awesome because I think he's going to bring a lot of love to the brand. So.
Marweed's that kind of guy that you could see him, struggling a little bit in the early season with distance, but then picking it up, halfway through the tour, or maybe, at Waco and a couple, maybe missing out kind of at DEO, but then really picking it up as we get more towards the Midwest and East Coast. So
yeah, he's a darn good putter,
he surprised us a lot last year. So
yeah, for sure. All right, Darren, 2 picks back to back, going to around 3 and 4 here.
Yeah, I was trying to see. I see Kale's PDGA. Kale's playing a lot more than I expected, honestly.
Yeah, he's got new discs coming out. I think he's gonna try to promote those a little bit, the Falcor and things like that. So, and he's got the longest cash streak in PDGA history. He's one of my favorite people in general, and he's nice to look at.
He's not unattractive.
Are you guys talking about me?
Yeah, no, we switched topics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A while ago.
I'm gonna. Gross.
One of the other things we're going to work on for probably early next year or maybe later this year, but I don't know, is going to be like a hide player in the list. So if there are players that we don't absolutely want to see, you can kind of just remove them from your list, almost like we've got the favorites, but that's kind of small.
Yeah, so you can unfavorite them.
So you can basically, truly unfavorite them and maybe just remove them and have a button at the top or a checkbox. Like we've got the option
who do you
to
suggest
show
I
players.
Good, call somebody out. Who do you suggest I hide now?
Marvin
only you
Tetzel.
could.
Marvin Tetzel. I think you should try to hide Marvin Tetzel. He
no,
plays overseas, phenomenal guy and player, but will not be here.
I'm just gonna take Nate now, Sexton, just so I can get this pick out of the way, and then
I'll say this.
What's first again, Nate?
I think Nate Sexton is going to make the most money at LVC.
Yeah, that's what
who'd have thought, huh?
I got to get a jump on you guys at LVC, and then I'll just worry about the rest of the season when it comes. So LVC is the first event?
It is, yes, the Las Vegas Challenge. That's where Nate's very rare Firebirds drop. So he's always there and signing discs and such, and makes very, very, very long lines. And
all right, I gotta take my boy then, a buddy of mine here. Florida guy, Double G.
Oh, good pick. Double G working on his putt. I saw it's looking a little flatter, a little less hyzer.
Yeah, he's actually down here right now. He's in Orlando down here. I was talking to him yesterday about some stuff that I'm trying to article stuff.
Getting the inside scoop. All right, we're back to hitting the line. Nasser,
sure.
Jed.
Me and Nas are gonna go with another big arm thrower, leaning towards upside again. Just won a tournament. We're gonna go AB.
Is AB touring?
AB, yeah. Jed, do you want to kind of explain our relationship?
I told you I'm not up to date on that
Honestly,
kind of
I don't
stuff.
know.
Oh,
wait, is
I
Bro
would imagine.
not
I hope so.
touring
He's a
fully?
stud.
Hey
Is he
man,
not
that
touring
guy
this
thinks
year?
he's beaten Paul Macbeth at 10+ events this year. So
So he must be playing in a lot of events.
He's only playing in those 10 actually.
Yeah, just well, if you're playing 10, that's good enough.
Jed and I have a love-hate with AB because on hitting on prize picks, they will often have him with a very high score, and so he's almost always an under for us because he can shoot the hot round any day, it seems like, or he can go ahead and shoot like one of the worst rounds any day. So there'd be some days where Barella just would make us cash, and some days where we would miss a ton of cash because of Barella. So we definitely have a love-hate with AB, but mostly love. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft huge upside guy. Yeah, maybe we're out thinking the room here, but that's all right.
I mean, if he can get his putt down, he's unstoppable. He's kind of like that eagle. The problem is,
he was like
easily watch him
pre-eagle.
4-putt and not be surprised. All right, Evan, what are you looking at right now?
all right, I'm gonna pick a guy who I think some people were considering overrated going into the 2021 season, especially after they had a hot LVC. Then people really underrated him by the end of the year. Kind of said he had a bad year, but you look and he didn't really have a bad year at all. That's Ezra Aderhold. 18 events, 10 top 20s. That's the most of like anyone around kind of this level that we're at right now. So I'm going to go Ezra Aderhold.
All right. Ezra always performs well at the longer courses. He's a giant thrower. One of my favorite posts I saw yesterday, the day before, that said, I just saw Ezra playing shirtless at the course. I'm going to go home and leave my wife. So
I literally put on my latest TikTok was, I just want to look like Ezra. I just want my comments to look like Ezra's, and I tagged him.
All right. Who do you least want your wife or girlfriend talking to, Ezra or Kale?
Oh, Kale. Hands
Kale.
down.
Easy.
I'll tell you what, I've never got lost in Ezra's eyes. Kale is from Minnesota, right next to Wisconsin, for you people that don't know the Midwest. He came over here. I've known Kale since like the early 2000s when he was, way back when, throwing discraft and stuff. And just, I watched him kind of dominate a lot of different areas. And even then, I was just kind of like, Okay, Kale.
Okay, Kale.
Yes. But all right, that's fun. Yeah, that's fun. I get to play with Kale first round. It'll be the last time. So fun
Always
stuff.
the first round you play with Kale.
Yes. I don't think I've
Never
ever
the
played with
second.
him in any other round. It's my pick right now, so I'm looking at the board and I'm kind of trying to decide between like a Mason Ford, who gives me a lot of potential because he's going to play at a lot of events, or Andrew Presnell with the same. But I'm going to go a little further down the board. I'm going to go with Corey Ellis. Corey Ellis is one of the best putters on tour. He's going to be playing a lot more this year. He doesn't have a big track record, but I know he's going to be playing a lot more. So I'm excited to see him play in any events he doesn't happen to play in. I'll just have to fill in a bench spot. But I think he's going to be one of those sleeper ones that I don't know if he'd make it back around to me in the next round. So I'm going Corey Ellis, and we're going to move on to Robert McCall.
Well, I'm in between two guys, and I don't want to tell y'all who.
Well, you might get him on the comeback, so.
Yeah, that's the point. I'm gonna take a shot on Mason. Mason's a young player. His form is immaculate. Immaculate. If he gets some of that clutch factor with him, if he starts finishing well, I think he's going to be a good one. So I'll take Mason.
All right, moving on then over to Dixon. Dixon finishing out round 4.
Man,
You've got back-to-back picks.
I've had 3 guys on my favorite list since I picked last, and nobody took any of the 3.
Wow.
So I'm kind of happy now. I got to decide which of
Manabu?
the 2 that I want.
You gonna go with Manabu?
It was Manabu and Marvin and Withers. I wonder why nobody took it.
I see Klein's still available.
I mean, at this point, I think at this point, any of these guys could have top 10 showings, and any of them could be fighting for cash. I don't know. I think we've taken everybody that we could just guarantee top 20. So really, I think at this point, I'm just choosing guys that I enjoy cheering for and that I don't have a hard time cheering for.
Miles Seaborn?
Well, he's not playing hardly at all. Robert's not playing because he's got 1 kid. Miles has 4. So 5 now.
Yeah.
Hi, he's got you beat, Darren.
But we are very similarly skilled at disc golf. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well,
Wait, are we?
I mean, it's similar that you guys both live in Texas. I guess that's
True.
similarity.
That's where the similarities end.
How old is he?
Miles is about
29,
my
30,
age.
Yeah.
No, he's not 29, 30. Miles is mid 30s
older?
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, all
Does he
right.
have 5 kids?
Oh yeah.
You can catch him, Darren.
Good luck.
You've
All right,
actually
Dixon,
seen-
who's it going to be?
Oh man, I was going to tell a story. All right, I'll go with 2 guys I love cheering for, with Clemonade and then Yuli.
Homer.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, good. Lefty with Clemonade and Yuli. He's getting up there in age, though. I don't know. His focus is a lot of other things. He's probably the guy you see most on the disc golf commercials. I think every commercial has a Yuli. I think it has to. I think it's part of his contract.
But all of his Instagram posts are so inspirational.
I know. All right, coming back to you, Robert. Who were you thinking? Did Dixon pick him, or did he sit
Clemens.
there?
Clemens was my other guy. Clemens is sneaky good, man.
It's not sneaky. He's just good.
Yeah, that's fair. For somebody outside like the top 10, I think he gets slept on a lot. So I'm gonna go for a tour.
Sneaky, because I saw him driving through town the other day. That was the first time I saw him in town. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
there goes Clemens.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Presnell. He's gonna play a lot of events. He plays harder than anybody else. I think if Presnell could, the thing that holds Andrew back is his putting. I think he knows that, and I think it's evident to people that watch him. But when he's on, like his ceiling, it may be just as high as almost anybody else. He'll throw down 1070s, 1080s like it's not a big deal. So that's who I'm going to go with.
All right.
The pretzel man.
Going with the pretzel. Moving on to the 5th round, right in the middle. It's me. I'm looking at
So you got Freeman and Pretzel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were trying to decide between the 2.
Yep. Worked out great.
Yeah, well, that works out. Good for you. Good for you. I'm looking at the list, and I'm seeing a lot of names on here that I do like. All of them kind of finishing in the middle. I'm going to go with the big thrower, the young guy, Canadian, Thomas Gilbert.
Let's go.
Good choice.
I think he's...
Remember
he's
when
a
there
baller.
only used to be like 4 big throwers?
yeah, now everybody's...
And now it's like everybody throws 500?
Yeah, 500 used to be elite, and now it's like that's what you have to do to compete. That's not elite anymore.
I'd still think it's elite.
No. I'm saying people that can throw 500 on the reg is not a small group like
True.
it used to be.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a big freaking group.
That's true. All right, Evan, you're up.
All right. I'm looking at top 20 finishes percentile. This guy's finished in 57% last year on the tour. It's kind of higher than most of the rest of the guys left. I'm going to go with Mr. Beautiful Form himself, Bradley Williams.
Nice pick. I like that.
I was waiting.
It's the pick of how much is he going to tour. Like, I love Brad's game, but I don't
You
know.
think that he played 14 events last year. That's 1 less than Jeremy Colling, only 3 less than Chris Clemens. That's 2 more than Andrew Marweed, 2 more than Barella did last year, 2 more than Gavin Rathbun. So I kind of thought that too, but then as I looked at it, I think he plays enough that I should be good. I think he usually skips the East Coast kind of lately, and I have Simon, and Simon should be back by then.
That's
So
good.
Oh, what? Who's this guy looking at his team and knowing what their tour schedules are?
He's got like bye weeks lined up. He's like, okay, well,
quit
this
with
is
the
bye
actual
week.
planning and real reason here, Evan.
I got
Quit
some
with the
awesome
smart guy
queries.
stuff.
I got a triple monitor set up, so I got you guys, I got the draft, and then I got my stats on one.
Oh, geez.
I'm pulling in queries.
You're
as
playing
I-
chess. All the rest of us are playing checkers.
All right, moving over to hitting the line. Nass and Jad, 5th round. Who are you leaning towards?
Well,
We were just trying to figure out how to figure out who plays what tours or what stops. We're just trying to figure out like how do people know how many stops people are making?
Well, I think
Because obviously I think we see Kale up there, but we don't. He only played I think 6 or 7 events last year. Looking at the UDisc stats, and I'm wondering, there you go. I guess you just go to PDGA, Jad. Come on.
Yep, you go to PDGA, you can see his current upcoming events. He looks like he's playing most. He's playing Vegas, Memorial, the Open at Belton, which is a Silver Series, Texas States, and
anyway,
DDO.
we're thinking between Kale, Matt Bell, Emerson Keith. Those are some of the names that we're liking right now. Let's see.
I think Kale's probably a good spot here, and in 2 more picks we'll see.
Especially
who we
this
still
late.
have left. Yeah, especially this late. It's really hard to pass on Kale. I mean, he has the longest caching streak. As Jad, I think, tweeted the other day, his buttery form never goes out of style. I was really impressed watching him at whatever that tournament was in Arizona recently. His long putts. We're gonna go Kale LaVisca.
Shelly Sharp.
Yeah, Shelly Sharp. Yeah, he was
Shelly
that
Sharp,
first
he was
round,
putting
man. That
well.
guy couldn't miss inside circle 2. It was amazing.
It was incredible. He makes it look easy too. So we're gonna go Kale. And
Good
then see what's happening in a couple picks here.
Yeah, I like that.
In case anybody cares, I went to Google search his name, and the first thing that pops up is Kale LaVisca's wife. I'm not sure why. Seriously,
you guys know him better than we
I'm
do.
gonna look up his tour, and it says wife.
The man's winning at life. Let me put it that way.
Yes, he is.
There
All
you go.
All right, we're moving on. Darren, you've got back-to-back picks. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I was trying to look at Queen to see, is he playing a lot?
Yes.
Is he gonna ride that? He gonna ride that pro tour?
I believe he's.
Is that gonna be like? Is that gonna define? Do you guys think that's gonna define his career, or is that just gonna be like a step? That win.
I mean,
that nobody expected.
Him winning that was more surprising than James winning Worlds.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's what I'm wondering. He's like
bracket buster.
Yeah, he was the one guy we didn't talk about in that podcast episode.
Yeah, he's for sure playing the first.
Throw away the bracket guy.
He's definitely got the first 4 DGPT events, maybe 5 here. Playing.
Yeah,
so after that, I don't think that they're showing the upcoming events because that's still part of Tier 1 registration for Disc Golf Pro Tour. I don't think they've officially done the second half of the season, which my guess should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But if he's playing the first few, he's got his tour card and he's probably going to be playing most of them.
Yeah, that's what. So what's the second stop? I see everyone's doing Vegas, and then the next one, almost everyone's doing Texas State next. Is there one in between there?
No, that's
Isn't Waco in between?
Yeah,
Is Wa-
Series
is
of
Waco
like a
second?
Belton.
Yeah, Waco's I think the next. Yeah, I believe it goes Texas State's Waco. No, I'm sorry.
Texas
Everybody-
State's a Silver Series.
Las Vegas. Yeah, Texas State's a Silver
Oh, wait.
Series and then Waco. So
Yeah.
Vegas then
No,
Waco.
no, I think it's Elite actually.
Is it?
No,
Texas-
no,
Texas
yeah,
State
it's a
is probably
the Belton. The opening Belton is the.
Silver
There it is. Yeah,
Silver
Yeah.
Series, yeah.
All right, I'm
But
just.
I thought
gonna,
Waco was
make-
the second stop, but
it is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm
I
almost
got
certain
the
it is 'cause
schedule
They were
up
talking about it today during one of our meetings.
Yeah, it is. I got it. I got
There.
the schedule up here. Regardless, I'm just gonna take. I'll just take Emerson either way.
Oh, World's Whisperer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe. He can,
Dude, he is, man.
Another guy with
And
just great form. Just seems to show up when when he needs to.
Absolutely.
And then you're backing that up with who? Check your bye weeks. Check,
yeah, I was looking at. So, how many spots we get total?
we're gonna have 8 total start spots.
8.
So
Six starters, right?
six starters, 2 bench positions.
Yeah.
Right now we are in the.
So
How
right-
do, you, how do you have all those guys missing off of yours on the left-hand side there? Like Manabu and Daryl and those guys.
I don't. I just scrolled down.
He just scrolled down.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I gotcha.
Right now I'm in between. I'm looking at Queen,
I use the mouse, Dixon.
Callaway, and Casey White. I'm sure at least one of you guys are thinking about those guys. So
Yeah, I
let's
was
see
thinking.
what we're gonna do.
I was thinking Casey White. I think he's a good solid pick. I don't know. I think he's touring all season as well. So.
Yeah, he's down here right now in Florida. He's in Florida too right now, warming up at New World actually. I
Another
saw him the
sneaky
other
guy
day.
is Austin Turner, young former AM World champion. I think he's going to be touring most of the season. I don't know how reliable he is as far as the tour, but he says he's touring, and if he does, he's a very consistent player as well. Very solid player. I won't say consistent. Very
Really, I'm
solid.
thinking either Queen or Callaway. Callaway played a lot of events last year. All right, I had him in our league, in the other league, and it's like he played everything. Is he still doing that? I remember there was like a big deal. He was like only going on tour for a little bit because of his kids and all that, and now it's like he
Yeah.
just plays everything.
No, he's been pretty committed.
Yeah, I think he's pretty committed.
he's another one that's-
sneaky good.
See, I just
man.
don't know what's going on. Everybody's PDGA you click on, they're all skipping Waco. Like not the top guys, but all these guys
why
are
are so many
everyone
people skipping Waco? I'm noticing that too.
I don't know if it's just a
everybody.
filling it up or what. I'm not sure.
Scared of the beast.
Yeah. Is the registration
I'm
process
just gonna-
different than Texas State?
It might be. I'm not 100% sure.
That's the Waco's the one with the Brazos River, right?
Yes.
I always hear Dixon talk about it. Yeah, so I'm watching 1883 and they're trying to cross it. I'm like, okay, all right, that's me. I get it. Guys, this is
Hey,
about
that's where the whole
Hawaii right
tour
here.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll just go Callaway then.
All right. I think that's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. Yes.
That was the
That was
third
Dixon's
guy that
next
I said
pick. That was-
every guy said was my favorite. I almost took him last time around.
Yeah, he was my next guy too. So
All right, so we're moving. We're back to hitting the line. Nass and Jad, what do you got? Who's left on your board? Who are you looking at? Any good sleepers? Any sneaky picks
I've
for your
got-
last starter?
Looking at events, I've got Matt Bell's only currently signed up for 6, but they're all majors or bigger events. Barsby, I'm looking at, he's only signed up for 5, and Chandler Fry has signed up for a ton, but a bunch of them are like the SeaTac takeoff and like these smaller tournaments. So those aren't going to really help us. Like I said, as a kind of a DGA shill, I kind of like Matt Bell. Jed, who are you thinking in terms of who might be left? Casey White is still out there. He's probably going to play a ton of events.
At this point in the draft, you definitely have to go on events that they're like whoever's playing the most events to give yourself more opportunities. If you think Matt Bell is going to be playing some events, I've seen plenty of upside out of him throughout the years, especially when his putter's hot. So I don't mind taking Matt Bell here.
I also see Casey White has got about 8 events signed up, so he's definitely playing a few.
They're tricking out a van as well. Him and his girlfriend, wife, fiance. I'm sorry, I don't know, but they will be traveling together. So
wife, come on, man, they're kids.
I don't know why, but somehow I'm a Casey White hater. I don't know why.
Oh.
Is it the form?
I think we should go with
the
Matt Bell.
form?
Yeah,
All right.
something about it. I don't know.
He's got
I mean, it's
Matt
kinda
Bell's
goofy.
form's goofy
Flex
too,
turnover.
but I like Matt Bell. I don't know.
I like Matt Bell. I think he's got, he's playing with the EV7s as well. So it's kind of cool when your newest sponsor just sponsors putters and they want you. That tells you how good of a putter you are. He's got some new discs in the bag too. Yeah, let's go Matt Bella. I know he especially does good when they get to the East Coast. So we'll see if he signs up for some more tournaments. We'll go ahead and draft Matt Beasy.
All right. Moving over to Evan. Evan, who's your final starter?
Oh, we're already to that point?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So far, you've got Eagle,
Let's go
Kevin,
quick.
Simon, Ezra, Bradley. Your last starter is going to be who?
All right. Ooh. I'm going to go with the fun man himself. Everyone's lovable tall guy, Big Gerb. I think he had a down year. I think, his knee has been troubling. He might not be a huge fan of what his body's doing to him. But I think he's just consistent enough at kind of this late starter, maybe a bench player position.
Yeah,
I can agree. He pretty much shot like his rating all year last year. Like was
Yeah, he was definitely our guy. He was like our barometer last year. We would look at Coling's scores and say, "What's his score?" All right, we're probably taking the over on his score, but he almost always shot right at that 1025 to 1030 kind of.
Well, no, exactly. He averaged 1025.7 on the year for Elite Series and Majors.
There
He better than Yuli, better than Marweed, better than Thomas Gilbert. Barely. That's minuscule at that point. But still, solid year.
Yeah, and you know he's going to be at most of the events because he's doing the Jomez stuff, so you don't have to worry probably about him kind of bailing off.
As long as he's playing, he bailed on the last couple because of injury, or it was at Music City in Delaware that he had to take off. So I'm hoping though. I think he's got it.
All right. Perfect. Oh, moving on to me now. Oh, gosh, what do I want to pick here? I would love to pick Scott Withers, but I saw he's only playing in one DGP or two. The first two DGP events he's playing in is Vegas, then he's going to Jonesboro, so he's making a big skip in between. So I can't justify him there.
Hey, I think I'll be playing against him next weekend if you want to see him smack up a bunch of locals here in Southern Oregon.
Well, you do me a favor, record that for me, and we'll see.
I had to sign up for the pro division because the AM day filled up.
So I'm gonna go with what I said. I'm gonna go with Austin Turner. Is inconsistent as he can be, he's got some really high highs. So I think he could be a very surprising player with Austin Turner. So McCall on the call.
Yeah, I'm going with this. I'm picking this guy because I like him, and darn it, he's a good player and a really super sneaky good putter. You guys mentioned him earlier. I'm not surprised that he hasn't gotten picked yet, but I think he's going to do well this year. I'm picking Chandler Fry. I think he's just a baller, out and out. And if he gets hot, man, he can compete. He did fine last year in Pro Tour events. Not great, not terrible, but better than some of the people who are higher rated than him. Just based on a quick perusal of his stats. So I'm taking Chandler, man. I like him.
Awesome.
I'm a fan.
I love his form. I think it just looks so natural and smooth.
Just so effective. Like super efficient. Yeah. Not any wasted motion. Bullet putter. So he's not affected by the elements quite as much as some other people.
All right, moving on. Dixon, you got back-to-back picks.
All right.
These are your last
Everybody
two picks.
Yeah. So this is I was hoping, when you've got like a
oh wait, never mind.
you got like a
three picks
special
left.
team player that nobody knows is gonna that he's gonna be returning all the kicks all of a sudden. Nobody paid attention that Linus is now coming over here.
Oh, that's what we were doing.
Again, we were just texting about him.
We were just texting it like, yes.
He's playing 8 events.
So, yeah, I'll take the 1035 guy on the board.
Yeah,
I know.
And then kind of in the same theme, and this is just totally for the upside, and then maybe he'll do something special and pull out a bazooka again. Albert Tom is going to be over here.
Nice, Albert.
As well. So I'll go with a couple of Euro stars that are I think that when this sort of guy comes over to play, I mean, they're just on a free roll. Like it's not the same sort of thing as, maybe like somebody like Miles that goes out on the road, that he's away from his family, he's trying to get back, he's worried about how much money he's going to make, all that sort of stuff. I mean, these guys have the money to come over for a long period of time. The making of the money is almost irrelevant. So they're just out there to have a good time and shoot good. So I'll take the possibility of one of them hitting a home run. And really with Linus, I think he has the opportunity to finish well several times. So I don't think that one's much of a stretch. I feel like that's a total value pick at this point. That
might be the steal of the draft.
I'm kind of surprised that nobody was checking him out.
Oh, we were.
All right, we're back to Robert. Robert, who's the first guy on your bench?
All right. I am glad that we have arrived at this spot, because I've been waiting to pick this person on my bench specifically because I don't want to have to count on him every week. He's not going to make as many events, but when he shows up, he crushes people. He's from Alabama. I'm taking Cam Colglazier. He's nasty. And like he would go not play disc golf for most of the year and show up to Worlds and get fifth. That's just what he does. And so if he gets to play a little bit more on the weeks where I have someone who maybe has been struggling, I'm not going to hesitate to put Cam in there if he's playing.
True story. I think I saw that 2 weeks ago he played an event and he picked up discs because he got a new sponsor. He's going with Infinite. He picked up a new bag of discs 10 minutes before the event and won.
Yeah,
didn't even hey, I'm going to take these discs. He didn't learn them, didn't know them, just kind of generally knew what they were. Boom.
Yeah, he's just insanely talented, and he's not going to play a full schedule, but when he's out there, man, he's pretty good.
You kind of have to play him if he's out there. That's
sure.
All right, we're moving on to me now. Looking around, this is kind of tough on who. I kind of want to pick Johnny McRae, but I don't know. Just the guy never
just the style points.
And he's playing a bunch of events. The guy always seems to be up in the mix. Like usually, kind of a 10 to 15th kind of guy with the ability to jump way up there. Just always knows what he's doing. The only worry for me is he's got a history of health issues where sometimes he'll just drop off the tour. So I think I'm going to take Johnny McRae here at this pick, just hoping that I get a bunch out of him. He's 1025, and I don't think
5, 6, 7 years ago, that's a steal.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Even 4 years ago, it was a steal. But
15 years ago, he was up and coming. So there we go. We keep moving that date back.
I played with them spring break of '98.
Daytona Beach?
No, I think it was in Sarasota. It's so some Sarasota event. Him, Climo, they're trying to hit the bottom of some water tower, kind of almost reminiscent of Ledgestone, but this was one of those water towers where it's empty at the bottom and just up at the top. And I'd never seen someone throw so far in my life. It was Johnny McRae. That was when he was young,
sure.
and I don't think his distance has left him. So, Evan, StatMando, who you sneaking on?
I was unsure about the European guys, but Dixon, you sold me with your is it Linus Carlson pick. I'm gonna pick what StatMando calculated as the European Player of the Year. He had the highest average rating from any of the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour events or the European Tour. That is Lauri Lehtinen. He's not playing Vegas, so I'm a little bit worried because I don't have Simon there either. But I'm going to risk it and still pick him. It's a year-long league. So,
all right. Lauri's off the board. Moving over to hitting the line.
All right. Let's see here. Well, we're kind of getting down to it, aren't we? There are two folks I think we really like. Maybe even three. Jed, who are the two you're leaning? Or why don't you just tell us one, Jed? Who's your top pick out of who we've been talking about?
Well, I think anybody that we're leaning on again at this point is just because we know they're touring and we've seen them play well in the past. We're thinking maybe people like Austin Hannum, maybe Raven Newsome. Who else you like, Nas?
You know, the metal kid inside me wants to pick the champ, Greg Barsby, of course. But he, over the past year, has definitely, I'm like, oh man, he doesn't quite have the distance as some of these guys, especially in the early season. I like, is it Raven or Raven Newsome? How do we pronounce that?
Raven.
Raven.
Raven. It's just Raven.
That's so
okay.
Raven.
I think we're gonna go Raven.
Ravenclaw.
Still playing a decent amount of tournaments. 10-24 rated. I feel like someone who can finish kind of in that middle of the pack, no matter what. So I think that's a pretty good bench player. We're gonna go Raven Newsome.
I've got two guys hanging out in my favorite list to try to be Mr. Irrelevant, so you guys lay off them, okay? I don't want to have to do more research.
I know this is a little tough because if I favored a player now, it was easy at the beginning because everyone's favorites were the same. Now I'm starting to favorite people, and everyone's going to get an idea of who I'm thinking about. So, but Darren, what you got going on? 2 picks. These are your last 2 picks.
Yeah, the last two. These are the last two.
Take Tim Barham just to take him off Johnny's list.
I know, just to move on. I'm going to add some other people like Colton. There. Yeah, take Colton.
Kind of crazy. I almost took Casey White the last pick, and he's still out here.
He is still there.
He's still out here, huh? Look at Feldberg out here. Look at Feldberg's just on my list.
That's Robert's sleeper pick.
Look at Oakley. Everybody sleeping on Oakley, huh?
New sponsor, new discs. Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't even see him.
But I kind of want to do one. I guess I just am I missing something? I don't understand what's okay. I'm just gonna take Seppo just to have him. It says he's playing Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's coming over for a little bit. I don't know how much.
What happened to his rating?
Life?
I mean, 1016, and like he was living like 1040 a year ago.
He was like a 1030 boy not too long ago. I feel like.
Yeah, we try to get that back. We're gonna try to get that back this season. We can get those back, Seppo. And then right now I'm thinking last pick. I want to go Casey White or Brody. No one said Brody's name yet.
No, they have not.
Oh boy. What do you think, Dixon?
Come on, with the dark horse. The dark horse. He's playing a lot of events.
I think he's playing the entire tour.
Definitely playing a lot of events.
Yeah. He's got upside.
All right, I'll just take Casey then.
Nas, why did you low-key just tell me on Brody?
I might have. I don't know. I think I might have just sold myself on Brody.
Are we up next?
Hitting the line.
Do we like Brody's little brother, Austin Hannum?
So here's my thing with Brody is obviously he's not amazing. If he's gonna play all the events, I know he's got a good putter. He can throw forehand.
Take Brody for the lulz? I don't know.
I worry about his
Let's take the
longevity
dark
on
horse.
If you're not taking Brody, he was on my mind for a couple
Brody
rounds.
Smith 21, Hitting the Line podcast wants Brody Smith. We're taking it.
All right, Dad, you said it, not me. So give us a reason to cheer him on. And yeah, he's playing a lot of tournaments, and I think he can only really get better. I think he probably plays better than 1017 golf. Jed, I just want you to know you're passing up on Austin Hannum. Go ahead.
Well, that's something as well as because we're sponsored by Prize Picks or whatever. We're doing that. Brody's actually somebody we leaned on a lot last year, or towards the end of the year. It really seemed like Prize Picks was putting their lines pretty much just based towards rating, and Brody obviously was always playing better than his 9-something rating than he was. So yes, he was a dark horse. Yeah, whatever it was. I think Brody's always a little bit better than his rating shows, and it probably will be for a little bit. So let's go with Brody.
Yeah,
none of these guys should actually. Like Seppo should be better than all these guys that we're picking right now, right? Like that's what I'm thinking going into that was like, if he plays, he should be better than all these guys. I know he didn't play last year.
I agree 100%. Seppo is, to me, that's like a hidden gem that his rating fell. We went with Brody Smith. I can't believe we just did it. Announce it to the.
Let's go.
Foundation Nation. Check it
No,
out.
man,
no,
that's-
don't do
That was one of the
Don't
two
do that.
favorites I said.
that is not our
Don't do
Twitter
that.
sphere, but here we go.
Brody's rating is still not accurate because it still includes stuff from 2020 when he was just barely getting started. He is
Yeah,
much
that's
better
what I'm
than a
saying, yeah.
10-17
I think
player.
I think his best rounds last year were in the 1030s. So I think he's definitely capable. And there you guys go. If you guys want a tip for prize picks going into next year, they often have Brody as one of the worst or one of the highest scores, and he's a great under most weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just
Evan?
consistent.
Yeah, I think you guys are exactly on it. I'm a little bit jealous because I didn't think anyone was going to remember him because he took the end of the tour off. I was just hoping he slipped to me, but then Dixon mentioned him, and then you guys were on it. I think that's a great pick.
That's our
I didn't mention him until somebody else did because I was keeping quiet about him.
Ooh,
To be fair, I did.
Oh,
I got
that was
it.
Darren. My bad. I
gotta
blamed
write-
you,
You
Dixon.
got us all amped up, Darren.
Damn it, Casey.
All right.
You better
Straight up did.
I'm going to go a guy who I feel like we don't really hear a lot about. He's up there at above a 1020 average rating in Elite Series events. He plays all of them. He, like, looking at his placings, like, nothing really above 50 except for a DNF and then Waco at the beginning of the year. Like, a lot of 30s and 40s, which sounds good for my last bench spot. That's going to be Alden Harris. Just,
Okay.
you know,
Yep, I was
I
looking
don't
at
think he's
him.
gonna come out and win an event, but I think like he seems just super consistent and is
Mhm.
just, you know, if I gotta rely on someone because I don't have enough players playing an event, I'm gonna plug him in and not lose points because of him.
I mean, I think Alden is a very solid player, and he's going to surprise some people this year. I think he's going to play better than his rating. It's almost certain. All right, I've got a few I'm looking at right now. I mean, I know Colton. At this point, I'm looking towards who's going to play most of these events. Colton, you know, is going to play most of the events. He's touring with Kona, you know, Hot Cocoa. Alex Russell is a very good player when he does play, but I don't know if he's playing a lot.
I agree.
Hot Take Hannum. Another one, Jordan Castro, who I think has...
I was looking at Castro, too.
he's one of those players that he's probably going to take 15th, but he's going to be at a lot of events. I don't see him as like a top 5 kind of guy yet. Another secret one, if you guys are looking for it, a sleeper is Dustin Keegan. He's going to be playing. I think him and Zoe are touring this year together and hitting almost all the stops.
Events?
And Dustin is a very solid player when he's, you know, out on the tour. So he usually he's been kind of on and off the tour a little bit, focusing on Uplay. But ultimately, I think Dustin Keegan would be a good one. But I'm going to go with Tim Barham. I think Barham is got something to prove this year. He's always been one of the best players in his region, and I think he's going to play a little bit more this year based on the early part of the schedule. I'm crossing my fingers he continues that to the later in the season, but if not, I can always drop him and pick somebody else up. So having him at this position isn't too bad. So Robert, second to last pick.
I've got 2 guys that I've narrowed down to. Alden was one of mine. That's a good pick. I like that one.
Appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let it slide. It'll be all right. Okay, so I'm down to 2, and they both play for Infinite now. I'm down to Cole Redallen and Eric Oakley. Eric Oakley, for obvious reasons, I'm friends with Eric, have been for a while. We're on the podcast together. Eric will play every Pro Tour this year, no doubt about it. He didn't play too great at Pro Tours last year. I mean, not too bad, but not great.
I'm just thinking of you having to talk to him in a week after this. So go ahead, continue digging your hole.
I think he'd say this too, that he didn't have his best year last year, but look at 2020 and 2019. His Pro Tour finishes across the board pretty good. And
I was going to ask Robert, do you feel that last year was a down year and more of an outlier for Eric? Because that's kind of how I feel.
I think so. And I think the thing that is working for Eric is what I joke with some Texas disc golf friends down here about new sponsor juice. Anytime somebody gets a new sponsor, they are hungry to prove themselves. And so they grind and they put in the work, and you know, the field work that might have slipped before, that's not slipping anymore because I'm trying to show I'm here for it. So that's where I'm at for Eric, and I think he is hungry, and he's probably in a better spot to just be able to practice a little bit more and put in the time. But I'm leaning personally towards Cole because he is just a young guy who crushes.
Upside.
Super upside. I just don't know how many events he's going to play this year. If they were both playing a full schedule, I think I would pick Cole just because I want to see. You know, he's rated higher than Gannon right now. He could stay that way. I mean, I don't know. Man, this is a really tough one. Eric's going to play all of them. I'm gonna give him a shot.
New sponsor juice.
I think the new sponsor juice is real, and it's a
juice.
Dude. I'm saying this is a theory I've had for a while. I'm gonna go with Oakley, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You can't not pick him and then go on.
He's my boy. Like, he's my boy.
Yeah, you got to do it.
And
How
when
would
I
you
was
look him in the eye and tell him that you picked Cole Redolin?
Oh, it'd be super easy to do that. We talk crap to each other all the time. But
in fact, I'd enjoy it. Back that pick out.
But when I was working for DD, we got mistook for one another often. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go
say, Robert, you look like if Eric Oakley and Drew Gibson had a baby, you would be their love child.
Yeah, except for if I was older than both of them by like a significant amount of years, then yeah, that'd be true.
One of the best commercials was the DD commercial with, I think it was you and Eric walking through the woods, and Eric's throwing the stuff against
coffee
the tree.
cup. It's not quite broken in enough yet.
Yep, I loved it. Thought it was great.
I died when we made that commercial. So,
anyway, I don't see Bobby Brown in here.
Say it again.
Dixon's got to pick him next.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
I'll be curious.
We'll have to get down to the
Eric
800s.
Yeah, with Eric this year, I'm curious if was he the greatest salesman of all time, or is he really like? Does he still really love the felon and he's going to be throwing it a ton this year if he's got open bag?
I'll tell you what I think, and just I know that people will see this. I think Eric would probably say this too. I think he truly loved the felon and liked how much how it flew for him. But let's say you were switching and you had no limitations on your bag, and you're looking for a fresh start. I would be surprised if it's in his bag this year, to be honest with you. We haven't talked about it much. I just think he's trying for a fresh start. He's showing people that he can sell other discs. Infinite has a disc that fits in that same slot that he'll probably try to push a lot. And if I was him, I'd put that disc in that slot instead.
Well,
that's what I think. We'll see.
Dixon, who's your Tom Brady? Who's your 199? He wasn't quite Mr. Irrelevant, but who's Mr. Irrelevant this year?
I mean, it's a guy that Darren talked about a while ago. He's been on my favorite list for a while, and I'm kind of shocked that he's still here. You want to talk about upside? How about the guy that won the biggest prize on tour last year with Nathan Queen?
All right, there you go.
I mean,
I almost 4 picks.
How
I don't know
how long has it been since we picked somebody that won something on tour last year? Right.
That's right.
And so, I mean, I'll take the guy that actually won something on tour last year.
He knows how to win.
Because someone won something on tour that went unpicked.
Well,
that was so electric to watch him win. Oh my gosh, that was electric.
Who was that, Evan?
I said Connor. Like we didn't
O'Reilly.
pick
Connor.
Connor O'Reilly went unpicked. Not like Dixon. I think your reasoning was great. I'm not trying to say that there's someone else. I think Queen is very fitting to be the final pick.
Yeah, if I had to go between Connor and Queen, I would probably lean towards Queen. I don't know what Connor's schedule is going to look like, if he's going to stick to the East Coast, or even though I think he's a West Coast guy, isn't he?
No, he's a Texas guy.
Texas guy, okay. Yeah.
And I bet he plays a lot.
You think so? All right, well.
Yep.
He plays a lot.
I think we're going to get burned
he's got all of
on
them
this
to start
podcast for
except
not
for
taking
Waco.
Connor.
I was going to say the waiver wire might be hot here in a little bit.
You know, well,
Connor's
click.
His average Elite Series rating this year was 1007. It's like I think Queen was in the 1019 or 1020. So I think it's.
I feel like Nathan
Connor was flashy though, right?
Yeah. He's he had some ups and downs for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't think he had many top 20 finishes on elite events besides Delaware. 25th at Idlewild might have been his second best.
Yep.
So now you can see in the draft room, it's no longer the draft room. Now it's the lineup room. In the upper right-hand corner, there is the next event. You can view it on the PDGA. It tells you when the rosters lock. Below that is a list of free agents. And I know, like I said, we're talking with StatMando, maybe getting some comparison stuff in there if we can. Maybe being able to check some players and look at their stats. If who you want to pick, and on the left-hand side you have your team lined up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take snapshots of the team, put it out on the SkipAce Twitter, and we're going to have some of the people out there vote on who had the best draft.
I've got 7 guys 1026 or above. I feel pretty good about my 8.
It's probably the guy who has all the stats. Darn you, Evan.
The guy who has
Hey, I've been loving all these picks. I'm like, every single time I come with a pick, I'm like, I don't know. Like, let me go look at the data, but I think there's some.
Yeah, this is cool.
Picks.
And it's better for me than fantasy football because I know nothing about football and haven't kept up with it in years. But like, we could all do this in our sleep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know this year in fantasy football, I was like, why is Adrian Peterson not a top 5 pick? And that's when I realized disc golf has completely taken over my whole sports mental.
For sure.
And I don't know any of the players in NFL hardly. That's all Jad. He's
for sure.
So the football king over there. I'm just wondering why Peterson's not a top 5 pick still.
Yeah, because it's not
You guys got Super
2004.
Bowl picks?
Right.
Here's
Super Bowl
the new
picks.
name you need to learn, Naz. Joe Burrow. That's who you need to know.
Yeah.
Burrow.
Burrow.
Man, what a fun Super Bowl we have coming.
This past weekend, one of the teams I wanted to win won, and one of the teams I predicted to win was going to win. I predicted LA to win, and I wanted. I didn't know, but I definitely wanted the Bengals to win. I didn't think they would, but I'm glad they did. I would not have picked them, but I'm glad they did. I'm rooting for the Bengals, but I think sadly LA is going to win.
LA's defense is absolutely
to me,
nasty.
it's just impossible to root against Stafford. He suffered in Detroit for so long. All
we're
the
from
crap
that area,
comes
so
with
we
it.
watched him suffer for
Dude,
years.
I can't.
Packer fan.
want
I love
Stafford
to
win
watch him
so
suffer for
bad.
years.
Detroit is not a
Vikings
good team.
fan.
No,
But
And-
I
think the
and then
I'm a
problem.
all the
Vikings fan, and
nuts on the
Jad
Rams.
loves the Cowboys, and I love the Vikings. So we watched, and then our mom was a Lions fan. So we got to watch a lot of Stafford suffering and a lot of wins for the Vikings, and
Hey,
Packers.
this is as good as a Super Bowl will get for the Lions. You got Matt Stafford playing and Eminem at halftime. I mean, that's
That's right.
Detroit
That's right.
represented right there.
I think the problem is going to be that LA's defense is going to be too good, and the Bengals' offensive line is not. You're going to see Joe Burrow running for his life.
Yeah. Jad, how was
However,
draft?
used to that.
Burrow was being sacked the most times in playoff history 2 weeks ago, so he knows how to handle that problem.
He knows how to take a hit repeatedly.
He got sacked 9 times against the Titans and won the game.
I know.
He's a warrior.
All right. Well,
I know that I think there's been 4 Super Bowl quarterbacks who weren't sacked 9 times the entire season they won the Super Bowl. He was sacked 9 times 2 weeks ago. There's 4 of them haven't been sacked 9 times in an entire season and won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
He got sacked 9 times in one game. Really 10 because that one they called back and he was like that one
Right,
took him the longest to get
he
up.
still got mugged. It just didn't get. It just didn't count.
Yeah, it's like who counted it?
well, I want to thank everybody for joining tonight and doing this draft. This is the first mock draft that we've ever done. I'm not sure if maybe I'll do another one yet this off season. We'll get back those other guys I invited who didn't show up. No, I'm just kidding. These are the first 5 guys that 6 technically with Jad. I didn't expect Jad to come in. I thought it was just going to be Nasser, but I'm glad.
No, we're a team combo.
Yeah, no, that's great. Hitting the line. Make sure you guys check it out, especially if you're into that prize pick stuff. By all means, listen, follow. And even if you're not, I bet you they've got some good information out there that maybe you can make some cash. I made a bunch of money on prize picks way early on when you could just do all unders or all overs because the lines were real bad. And so I think I made about $400 or $500. And then when they stopped
And to
doing
all
that,
of you guys, our
backed up.
whole theory is we feel like all of us in this room, we could beat the sharps, right? Like in Vegas, you're not beating Vegas most times, but we feel with prize picks, disc golf, like we are the sharps. These people making the lines aren't smarter than any of you in this room. So listen in. If you guys like what we have to say, great. If you don't, make your own picks and get some money because it's out there in Disc Golf Daily Fantasy. So
it definitely is. So Dixon, when's On the Box coming back?
After Vegas starts.
After Vegas starts.
Yeah,
Evan,
I mean,
they can find
it's
you at
just a
StatMando.
tournament recap. Although
Oh,
we have talked about, I was waiting for Kat to make an announcement as we were going to talk, maybe do a recap of kind of like all of the big moves. Um, but like there was such a lull in between kind of all the stuff at the first of the year and Kat that's kind of, it's kind of lost its flavor for a bunch of people to be super interested about off-season moves now. So we've only got a couple of weeks before Vegas, so we'll just wait off for that.
all right. I'm sure everyone will be holding
Little
their
all-star
breath.
reaction, maybe.
What's that?
Little all-star reaction, maybe. That seems pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
the skills competition could be cool, right? I mean, we're going to see.
It's like a glorified practice session. Like, I mean, it's interesting to watch, but I mean, when it's kind of like when they did the skins match at the DDO that was on CBS, like the mixed doubles skins, and they had all decided ahead of time to split all the money, and so it was like, what are we watching here? Like there's nothing on the line.
I remember when I did
Dixon.
I remember when I did the whatever Worlds that was I met you at, Johnny. Was that 2016? Whatever, the one in Augusta. I told Jomez then when I was talking to him, I was like, when they did like the upshot, all that little stuff they do that, like before Worlds, I told him, like, somebody should be filming this. Like, this is basically our dunk contest, the distance contest. I'm like, this is our dunk contest. Like, why is nobody filming this? Like, Jomez could easily put this out post-produced. Back then, nobody was even thinking about it. And I told him, and he's like, we might do that next year. And then it just never happened. And I was like, I can't believe nobody's filming this.
Terry does on occasion.
It could be so easy to do post-produce, especially with like the follow flights and all that for the distance contest. That could be so like that'd be so good.
Yeah, one of the things
I'm sure that the All-Star thing's going to take forever. Where like if it was post-produced, you could probably do the whole thing in less than in 30 minutes.
And one of the hard parts about filming those competitions, and I know Terry tries to kind of wrangle up pros and follow them, he gets a group of them, is that you have such an open time. It's like within like 4 to 6 hours to do distance, you get to pick. So you can't just sit there for 4 to 6 hours. But for post-produced, it definitely could work out. And I know that there's been some talks about doing some stuff like that. So Evan, StatMando, StatMando.com.
Yeah, check out StatMando.com. Social media, you can do @StatMando for Twitter, @StatMandoDG for Instagram. Tons of cool graphics. Started working with someone to do graphics, so check out our most recent ones. Those are sweet. And then also just watch disc golf, and I'm sure you'll see us some awesome work going on this year, and pretty exciting things.
And Robert McCall, when can people listen to you?
Yeah, we're on live Mondays at 7 right now, but we're still on every podcast app and all that stuff. Recently launched a Patreon page in which we talk about mostly non-disc golf related things, and it's a little bit more of like the personality side of stuff. And it's a little ridiculous because Bobby makes up questions to ask us, and you can all imagine how that goes. But yeah, Mondays at 7 is when we're live if you want to join.
Awesome. And Darren, where can people find your work?
I've been talking to Dion a lot about StatMando stuff because I'm so interested in that. I was trying to do like a disc reference page because I'm on Basketball Reference and like Cleaning the Glass, like all the stuff for basketball is advanced analytics. I'm on there like every day, just going through everything, looking at it. I'm like, how do we not have any of this for disc golf? When I write an article, it is like, I can't imagine. Dixon goes through it with his research for his podcast. It takes forever going through the PDGA stuff. And I'm like, man, it takes me so long. And it's like, I do all this, and for the actual paragraph is like this long, and it was about 4.5 hours of research. And then sometimes I just scrap all of them. Like, okay, this wasn't worth it. So StatMando, I've already been using that all through the end of last year. It was like, it really helped a lot. So
that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I text Dion immediately. I was like, dude, this is helping. Like, you would not believe how much. And it's like, it's only going to get better. Obviously, the more in depth we can get with stuff and history and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm really looking forward to the times when I can go to StatMando and just put in a player and say, oh, how do they play above their average from this time to this time during the year, or on this type of courses, or at this particular event, and things like that. And I have a feeling all of that is coming in the future, as Evan's got a little grin on his face. So it just takes time. If anyone,
okay, Evan, here's something I want you guys to add. It's probably not on your radar right now. When and what company, when people change sponsors to be able to, because like when you look back and you're like, wait, 2015 Ricky was he Prodigy then? You forget all of that stuff. So like being able to tag along with, oh, that season he had just switched. We'll see. We could go back and test Robert's new sponsor juice theory and see if it actually works out according to the ratings.
See, you said that like we hadn't thought of it. We totally have. That's something I think would be really cool. But to speak to that more, like things like that is where we just want to like open it up to everyone. We know that like the disc golf world has everyone's keeping their own records in their own places on Google Sheets or Excel sheets on just their own hard drive. We want to kind of bring everyone together and kind of be the central platform. So like disc golf sponsorships, sure, we could do the hours and hours of research and figure out all the way back to, Climo first getting Innova Disc or something like that. But if we can kind of have it kind of be community driven and we'll just be the database for it, and so it's centrally located and everyone can access it through that, like that's one of our goals.
That's cool. I dig that.
That is awesome. And if anyone out there has enjoyed watching this and you would like to start your own SkipAce draft league or other things, we do, weekly redraft leagues based on salary cap where it's tied right to your player ratings, or I do event matchups where it's 1 week and that's it and you can win prizes. I think our first event for the LVC, I'm going to be giving away one of these, the Chris Dickerson ESP Buzz, which now you can't get because they sold out in about a hot minute, but I got 5 of them, so I'll be giving one away, so you can look for those on event matchups. And
you can have this one if you lose yours, John.
That's a pretty one. My other 4
Yeah,
are behind
Johnny, I think me and Jed will be joining a league with a guy on Twitter, Matt Winters. So we're stoked to play out. This was fun to draft, so it was like a good little kind of warm up, and it's really exciting because with the daily stuff, I've always known about SkipAce. I think pretty much since it started, but I never just really pulled the trigger and played. So this is the first year I feel like I can really do it. So.
Yeah, it's great because this is the first year we've done a year-long draft league. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I've kind of always put it off because I've always wanted, and everyone has emailed me, and I understand I would love to get into more stat detail, give points for circle 2 putts and minus for OB. We're not there yet. Trust me, we're not there yet. We're working hard. It's just a matter of getting access to those stats, as everybody knows, and finding ways to do it. But it is on the chalkboard. So once again, you can find us all at skipace.com and follow us. When I say us, I mean me. I'm the only guy really that does SkipAce. So it's been my baby for about 15 years now. We've got Twitter now, and I'm going to get into fights with other brands. It's going to be a lot of fun, I promise.
Nice.
So, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. Peace.
Appreciate you for having us on.
Yep.